Hey guys, welcome to the next video when we're gonna talk about the next for, which is an implicit for. Now in the previous video I hope I was clear about the default for, but now we are looking into more specific for. I mean, this for is not used by the majority of systems and even has some vulnerabilities inside, but this for is different, the way it works is different, and the way the information flows between different actors is slightly different. So I'm trying to cover everything about that for here. I hope I'll be clear, and if not, of course, feel free to post any questions and comments below in the comment section. So let's begin by actually explaining the second for. So the implicit grant type is used for mobile apps and web applications where the client secret confidentiality is not guaranteed. So as you can see, we are not starting very good. So the implicit grant type is also a redirection based for, but the access token is given to the user agent to forward the application, so it may be exposed to the user and other applications on the user's device. Also, this for does not authenticate the identity of the application, also relies on the redirect URI to serve this purpose. So as you can see, we are having some differences between the two fors, and I'm sure immediately when you see the graph and we start breaking down everything into steps, it's gonna be more clear. So the implicit grant type do not support refresh tokens, which is really important. A refresh token is a token which basically refresh after a period of time. So time expires and it refreshes. Now the implicit type do not support such tokens, so any token which expires should be renewed manually. It cannot be refreshed by itself, which is very important to know. So guys, here is the graph, and we're gonna start breaking up everything step by step so you can get a better idea about what's coming up over the hood. So we have the user is asked to authorize the application, then the authorization server passes the access token back to the user agent, which is passes to the application. So you see the chain is different from the authorization token. Yeah, so here from the authorization for, this is really different. The ID is slightly different. The user agent is a key figure here, the key actor, and the all authentication passes through it. So I'm gonna stop you here for a second, and I'm gonna ask you why this can be bad. Why, depending on the user agent, so much can be bad? Because basically user agent can have vulnerabilities and is exploitable and is hackable. So user agent can be basically vulnerable to social engineering attacks, because if the user agent, I mean the browser, is stable but the person behind the browser not so much, it can be vulnerable and it can be hacked using social engineering attacks. So using social engineering attacks, we can get the token, we can hack that system, because the point is that the resource server from anywhere do not really care who are we, who is the application. He just really care about that token, right? So this is just like a hotel room. When you go to your room, you just pass your key card and the room unlocks. This is the very same idea. The resource server do not care and know and need to care and know who are we. You just care about, do we have that token? So basically, if we have managed to hack the browser, hack the user agent, and somehow steal that token, we can access the data inside that resource server for that specific user. Okay, so moving on into the whole procedure. So we are at step 1. So basically we have implicit authorization link. So this is the first step, and let me just change my pointer to laser. Yeah, so here we have the first step. So we have, with implicit type grant, the user is presented with an authorization link that requests a token from the API. This link looks like an authorization call link, except it's requesting a token instead of a code. Okay, so let's just break down that concept right here. So we have all the actors. We have application, user agent, user, out server, service API. So everything, as I said, as always, should start by requesting. We cannot receive something without requesting something, right? So everything starts with requesting. So user authorization request is the first step. So we have a link, and that link requests something, in that case a token from the API. So everything starts with that request. So this is the first step, just requesting. So the difference is that just that time we are requesting a token instead of a code. So this is the point. So the step 2 is basically user authorizes application. So when the user clicks the link, they must first log into the service as usual to authenticate to their identity, unless they are already logged in, of course. Then they will be prompted with the service to authorize or deny the application accessed their account. So the second step is basically the users logs in and fills that credentials as the previously before. So this step is literally quite the same. Just the user needs to confirm that it's him. And as you can see, the chain goes through the user agent right here. So the user gets a prompt to log in. If it's not logged in, it says, hey, you're logged in and so on. But this whole procedure happens throughout the web browser, the user agent. Okay, so the third step is basically user agent receives access token with the redirect URI. So if the user clicks authorize application, so approves that, the service redirects the user agent to the application redirect URI, which is of course normal, and we saw that procedure in the previous flow, and includes a URI fragment containing the access token. Okay, so the fragment of the URI contains the whole access token. So the whole access token is being passed to the user agent right here. So here is now our token on the user agent on the browser. So this is the point here. Then we have 4, user agent follows the redirect URI. The user agent follows the redirect URI but retains the access token. So here the user agent goes back to the client, to the application, and now it's just redirected to that URI but retains the access token. So the fifth step is basically application sends access token extraction script. So the application returns a web page that contains a script that can extract the access token from the full redirect URI that the user agent has retained. So now the application goes back and requests back from the user agent for the token, right? And then access token passed to the application. So now the user agent passing the token to the application. So from now the token was right here. Now in the sixth step it's right here. So the user agent executes that script and passes the extracted access token to the application. Now the application is authorized. It may use that token to access user account and so on. So by finishing sixth step, everything is passed successfully, and now the application is having that token. You see, the whole idea of that OAuth thing is to pass a token to the application, and that application is going to use the token instead of your password to authenticate to a resource server. So this is the main idea. You see, the two different flows implements that idea with two different methods, but my opinion is that the implicit flow is way more vulnerable. The first thing that can occur is basically a user agent can be hacked, it's vulnerable to exploits, and if not exploits, social engineering. There is no limitation of human stupidity. And the second thing that can occur is basically that script which invokes in the website. So the user agent passes the code, passes the token, right? But that token or that user agent first is visiting a website, a customly made website from that application, which basically injects and executes a script which validates that. But imagine that not only a validation comes with that script. There can be malicious JavaScript inside. There can be many things inside. So can we trust that script, and can we trust that website? So there are many things that can occur. So guys, this is the implicit flow. I know it's a little bit more difficult to understand, a little bit more mind tricking, but that's just an idea to understand that just that flow exists, that just it exists. I know it's harder, but try your best. If you need, rewatch that video, ask some questions if I did not explain correct, and so you can get a better understanding of that flow. As I said, majority of flows are the authorization grant, but this is still used, the implicit flow. Of course, there are vulnerabilities in the both flows, but my opinion is that the default flow is way better than that. So I appreciate you for watching, guys, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.